Oh, baby. Okay, I'm going.
What's up, buds? Welcome to another episode of the Earbuds podcast, the Shorties version.
It's going to be real short.
This is the segment of the podcast where we talk about the latest and greatest in music coming out today, tomorrow, and yesterday.
Yeah, or at least sounds like it should have come out yesterday.
Okay. All right. We got a little...
I'm feeling bitchy today.
As always, I am your boy, Brett, Sniper Shot, hand, Papa Chow.
Yeah.
With me...
That's what your mama named you.
That's what my mom called me. With me, as always, is Lucas, off the mark, old head, Indrakov.
Whatever, dude. I have my own opinions, and we're going to get into it. We just listened to Still Sucks by Limp Bizkit.
That's right.
I believe that... When did this come out, Brett? Like a few weeks ago?
Like maybe a month ago or so.
Okay, so it's fresh.
So it's still fresh.
I'm glad we're diving into it. There were literally like 30 albums that came out this week, and we weren't interested in either of them.
Look,
And,
I don't care about Silk Sonic or Adele or...
Right. We would have done Adele purely for the clicks or the views or whatever, and we, I don't know, I guess we have a little integrity, but it's really just like,
I think
we
that's
want to spend half an hour... It's not integrity at all, because really we just want to spend half an hour listening to something that we can at least laugh at or semi-enjoy, rather than Adele, which, you know, I've never been into her, but...
I mean,
you know,
look,
we picked Still Sucks by Limp Bizkit, and I'm kind of happy that we did.
it's Limp Bizkit, y'all. It's not going to be anything you don't expect, you know?
No. I mean, but it kind of was at times.
Yeah, they had a good amount of like slower songs, kind of more thoughtful songs, with their usual kind of stupid, ignorant, like, we don't care, I don't give a fuck songs.
Yeah. This album is incredibly self-aware.
It is, yes, and it doesn't seem to care that it's self-aware either.
No, they're really like diving headfirst into yes. Oh, my dog has his own opinions.
Oh, uh-oh.
But we're just they really dove headfirst into like, yeah, we're Limp Bizkit. Yeah, we know a lot of you hate us and love to hate us, and you know, etc. And they wrote songs around that on this record.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean, you like fucking, what was it? Love the Hate. Like, it's literally Fred Durst making fun of himself, saying that he's no Eminem and all this stuff. And
yeah, with like another dude who I have yet to figure out who it is.
yeah, another MC who didn't even want to be credited on this song, apparently.
It seems,
so,
yeah.
That's not a good sign. But yeah, man, they I feel like there was plenty of limpy songs on this record.
Oh yeah.
Out of Style, Dirty Rotten Biscuit, Turn It Up Bitch. Like, all those songs were very Limp Bizkit-y.
But then you have other songs that are on the slow side, like Goodbye and
Don't Change.
That
Empty Hole, like, very unexpectedly quiet acoustic songs.
Yeah, right. And, you know, like, not acoustic in the traditional sense, but like very laid back and like minimal, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. That was really surprising. Whenever the record started, I was a little concerned about the next half hour of my life, because I was a little, you know, I was impressed that Wes Borland was able to just fucking channel that 2008 energy without really even trying, and writing some legit nu metal riffs on the first few songs.
Yeah, and I was kind of talking up this album for the last couple weeks to you.
Yeah, did you? So you'd already heard it?
I'd heard like bits and pieces from my roommate. I haven't listened to the full album until now.
Oh, okay. So that was your first time like living the
all
whole thing.
the way living the
experiencing whole
biscuit.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were living the biscuit. Well, I was impressed with Wes Borland for multiple reasons. One, because yeah, he was able to just channel that fucking Big Durst energy from 2006, 2005 or whatever, and write these what sounds like time capsule riffs out of that era of rock music, you know?
Yeah.
But because of that, it sounded dated.
I think it's the perfect thing we need right now in 2021, where there's this weird new metal revival thing happening. And this is one of the bands that's like, hey, we were here. This is what you kind of should be copying. This is what you should be using the blueprint of.
Listening to this record and the first few tracks, it made me realize how long it had been since I really listened to rap metal.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. They really got the rap metal sound down. Like that, they are the definition of the genre.
Yeah, really.
So, nu metal is kind of like a synonymous with rap metal, but I would say Limp Bizkit has always been, after their first record, were always more rap metal than nu metal.
And what would you say is like the distinction between those two?
I don't think nu metal necessarily has all rap on it. Like when you think of nu metal, you think Static X and Cold Chamber and Fear Factory and all these bands that don't rap at all in their songs, don't have hip hop influence at all in their stuff. So like Limp Bizkit always kind of fell under the nu metal umbrella because that's kind of like rap metal. I feel like is a subgenre, and I mean, yeah, it's Borland he fucking brought it. And what I like the most on this record is the stuff that was new to me that I've never heard Limp Bizkit do before.
Yeah.
Because I was worried after the first couple songs that we were just going to get the limpiest fucking record ever. And they just triple down on their sound and very self-aware to the point it's almost like a fuck you that we're tripling down on this genre.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, man, Don't Change started, and then You Bring Out the Worst in Me, which had this badass fucking metalcore, more metalcore leaning like chorus that was just really loud and really cool riffs. They took a lot more freedom in that song to for interludes and doing these more musical 30-second parts of it's not just verse chorus.
Yeah, it was a very dynamic song that kind of built the tension and led up to that kind of instrumental thing happening.
Yeah, and the instrumental thing was really good. Limp Bizkit can do that very well. Like on Significant Other, they have those moments of just this, let the music live. And then Barnacle was a weird ass song for Limp Bizkit. It didn't sound like Limp Bizkit.
No, I mean, Limp Bizkit's been in the game for 15 or 20 years by now.
Oh,
if not more.
Over 20 years. Yeah, it's been almost 25 years since their first record came out.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy that they can channel this energy that they specifically had kind of at their quote-unquote peak,
Yeah. But when you think that this record is almost 8 years in the making, then you realize that they probably had a lot of time to... I mean, think of 8 years in the making, and it's 32 minutes long. There's a lot of skits throughout the record.
Yeah.
There's at least 3 acoustic songs.
Yeah.
And then 1 straight up pop song at the end. So this was a very eclectic mix of influences and genres on this record.
Yeah. I mean it's very eclectic, but also very I don't know. It's very stoic in how it refuses to go past its peak, from when Limp Bizkit was on top, quote unquote.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they took all the stuff that Limp Bizkit did well and kind of just made it, exponentially larger. And like I said, self-aware. I felt like everything about this record, even the slow songs, were extremely self-aware in the sense of like we just took what we do really well and we fucking blew it up.
Yeah, for sure. So what would you say is like a Narnug off this one?
You know, it kind of bounced around a little bit because there were, you know, after the fourth or fifth song, a lot of things really started surprising me on the record. And I started liking the softer songs, like when me and you were listening through it. Like, they were...
Yeah, which is not something you would expect from Limp Bizkit, that you would like the softer songs on a record. But here's the thing. The first song I heard by Limp Bizkit was Rearranged.
Oh, okay. So that's a sound that you automatically associate with that.
Yeah, so that's the sound that I was like, oh, like this is going to be a Limp Bizkit, a kind of like thoughtful, methodical, slow, but also like energetic behind the core kind of thing.
Yeah, but more subdued for sure, instead of just trying to go fucking balls out like they did on, you know, Pollution or any of their first record. It
really wasn't a good way to get into Limp Bizkit at all.
No, that's very deceitful of them.
I thought
to have that be your first song.
I thought they were a much better band with a lot more really good stuff. But we listened to the first album, and I think it definitely has its place, right? In like new metal history for sure.
Oh yeah, that first album is gritty as fuck, and that's what kind of led me to my choice nugs on this record. I really liked the softer songs, the acoustic songs, but man, it's the ones that went even deeper and harder than I've heard them do before that ended up being my choice nugs. So my first one was You Bring Out the Worst in Me.
You Bring Out the Worst in Me. That is track 6.
Yes, that is the one that I think it's really the one song on this record that they allowed themselves a little more freedom in the songwriting, where they had more just music interludes.
Right. Yeah, they kind of let the musicians in the band kind of express themselves a little more.
Yeah, I mean they lived in those interludes, you know, and I feel like that's where the song really shined for me. It felt a lot less verse chorus and more. I think it was one of the better written songs on the record.
Yeah, and it has those sudden like outbursts of rage, which is really cool.
Dude, added so much to it because it starts out kind of weird for Limp Bizkit. It starts out more like a kind of a pop rock song and a really affected vocal stuff going on on Durst's vocals, but then it's like out of nowhere all of a sudden it just explodes and becomes super aggressive and heavy, and a badass riff by Wes Borland, and
yeah, right.
And then it just immediately, like the explosion, how quickly it happens, it ends that quickly, and there's a lot about that I love. I love songs that just kind of again leave you wanting more, and this song made me want more of both of those parts. And then I love that the end was just kind of like this really nice trippy musical part.
Yeah, which you would not expect from this band, right?
Not at all. I mean, this to me sounded a lot more like those really riffy metalcore parts almost sounded like Soilwork to me. And Soilwork, yeah, if you never heard them, dude, they're like industrial metalcore almost, I would say. They're from Sweden or something. One of the best of that genre, in my opinion, and they had a very specific, unique guitar tone, and that's the tone that I heard on You Bring Out the Worst in Me. And I loved it. I thought it was really different for Limp Bizkit and really unexpected. And the unexpected ones are the ones that I definitely gravitate towards too on this.
Well, I'll tell you one of my Narnugs is probably one of the expected ones from this album, which is the very first track, Out of Spite. Or Out of Style, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it was kind of a weird riff, but also super typical, like, mid-2000s new metal riff.
Super typical Wes Borland, right?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Like, it
was weird.
Where do you find that kind of riff aside from in like new metal, rap metal stuff like this.
Yeah, this song, you know, if this was on a POD record, I wouldn't bat an eye.
But the fact
Very
that
rap metal.
they could bring this kind of energy into 2021 when Fred Durst is like 62 or so, whatever.
God, you're such a fucking Gen Xer or whatever, Gen Zer.
Look, I'm a zillennial. All right.
Yeah, you're outing yourself right now as one.
But I just love the energy on this track. I love the riff. That wow, like that crazy like
cool.
all over the thing, and then they change kind of like the mood a lot. They have a lot of dynamics in this song. To be on the same team. I'm on the motherfucking same team.
Yeah, it's really catchy, the singing parts. Something that is a through line on this record too is anytime Fred Durst is singing, they seem to affect his voice a lot, and it sounds pretty auto-tuned.
I mean, yeah, I think they all know that like Fred can't sing, so they kind of do whatever they can to alleviate that.
I think he used to be a lot better back in the day, but I think now, yeah, it's getting to a pretty bad point. But there's that weird part that's like this weird synth rock thing. Right. Interesting. Yeah. It was a good start to the record because it showed you that they still have the chops to write a Limp Bizkit song. You know.
Yeah. Right.
But they did change it up enough. There was so many times on this record that I was just confused.
Well, tell me.
In a good way, though. In a good way, because they did things I didn't expect, so it confused me.
Tell me what is one of those second Narnugs that they confused and kind of delighted you.
Man, there was a few times that they confused and delighted me. I think Don't Change was a really good cover song. And
In Excess.
In Excess, yeah. We said it sounded like Oasis playing it.
Right,
you know?
Yeah.
That was cool. I liked Empty Hole a lot, which was another acoustic, softer song.
Under 2 minutes.
I liked Snacky Poo. Snacky Poo was a nice throwback Significant Other era song. Very hip-hoppy.
Yeah.
And Goodbye fucking confused the shit out of me, but I ended up liking it just because it was so weird and different that they did it. And it was really catchy because it was written by a pop artist, pop songwriter.
Yeah.
But my second choice nug is the other one that went fucking super hard in the paint, and another one that they really threw me off with the sound that they went for, and it was Pill Popper.
Pill Popper, dude. Yes.
Super industrial 90s metal vibes in the verses, like almost like Ministry or KMFDM or something.
Yeah, that was my second Narnug, dude.
Oh man, yeah, it was great, dude.
It's like
legitimately good heavy song.
Yeah, super industrial, as you said. Like, it just like very like brooding and stomping through the entire track.
I mean, the drums are like just during that first verse is just like, oh man, that is gonna get me pumped no matter how good or bad the song is. All I need is that drum part.
And then the chorus comes in. He's like, "Give me my medicine," and then the music drops and it goes into like halftime of what it was in the verse.
Such a badass riff.
Ugh, I love it.
And his scream is so good, man. I love Fred Durst's scream and his rapping voice. I think I'm just such a sucker for both of them. And he had a great scream on this song. Give me my medicine.
Give me my medicine.
Fucking awesome.
Oh, man.
And the dirtiest, like, just guitar tone on the record, too. It was super effective, super heavy.
For sure. Super, like, that kind of new metal, like, why are these notes here and why do they work kind of thing.
Yeah, and it was cool that he had a more industrial, really super distorted guitar tone, but was playing this super new metal down, like almost metalcore, almost because of the double bass going. And yeah, man, I bounced around so much between all the other songs because I was like, fuck, I'm liking these heavier ones the most, but like the heaviest that I've heard them go in a long time. So yeah, man, Pill Popper's good.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of dynamic between the like softest and most thoughtful they've been, and also the stupidest and heaviest they've been in a long time.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it's like we know that Fred Durst is not on the top of his game with singing. Probably at this point.
I mean, probably not.
His lyrics have always been pretty cheesy, you know, like decent for the type of band that he's in, but put up against any, you know, legitimate MC and he just falls super flat. But his delivery, his attitude, man, he makes you believe that he's fucking good.
I mean, I just looked up his age. He's 51 years old.
Yeah.
Which is it's weird to think about.
It's really really crazy to think about.
And just the fact that he can like kind of channel this energy in a way that is like just cheesy enough.
And he sounds exactly like he did on, you know, Chocolate Starfish.
Right.
Starfish. Like, he doesn't sound 51 years old, or how you would expect a 51-year-old to sound. This dude sounds like he's 30.
Yeah, and I know before this album came out, there were a couple of videos that got on YouTube of them playing live at like Coachella, I think.
Yeah.
And he's just like in this weird like brown kind of leather jacket, and he's got this white hair, and he looks like super like, I don't know, he's just not what he once was. He's like a dad now. And
yeah, I mean, they have a song called Dad Vibes.
Yeah, they have a song called Dad Vibes, which I think one of the 2 singles on the album.
Okay.
And a super weird single to be your single, but I think it makes a lot more sense in the context of the album.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, this album is extremely self-aware in a lot of different ways, and Dad Vibes is just another example of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, did we get into
in the back? It's fat.
Oh, we've talked about both of our choice nugs, man, at this point.
Yeah.
Shit. All right. Well, I mean, I am super curious what your rating is of this.
I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, there are some songs on here that I am just jamming out to, and it just brings me back.
Yeah, you were vibing way harder to this record than I was. I was extremely surprised because you did not enjoy their first record as much, so I didn't expect you to like anything by them, and then all of a sudden you're fucking bobbing and weaving over there while you're listening to this record.
Yeah, I'm doing like some Miyagi moves over here, karate.
Yeah,
kid.
Man.
I don't know, man. This is just like the energy I need in 2021. I guess I need those weird, ignorant nu metal vibes.
I love that you call it ignorant.
I mean, it's stupid, right?
It's stupid. Yeah, it's very stupid.
But it's
they know that it's stupid, so it kind of.
They know that it's stupid. They're living in it. They've accepted that. It's kind of what they are. And so my vibe going through this album, it's nothing groundbreaking, right? It's nothing crazy that's gonna like get the next level of artists on the next step.
Do you think a bunch of 12-year-olds are going to discover this and then we're going to get another wave of rap metal in the next 6 years?
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they released this sound that was so common in like the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've kind of modernized it in the most subtle of ways so that like kids are going to start interpreting this and using it in their music. And it's going to bring on a whole new wave of stuff. It's stupid. It's Limp Bizkit, but it's Limp Bizkit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like when you're a Limp Bizkit vibe, you're in a vibe.
Dude, there's a reason we listen to this over Silk Sonic. Okay? Like we knew what we were getting into. So with that said, with the hard cuts and the unexpected soft cuts, I'm going to give this one a 6.8. You know, it's not as high as I thought you were going to go.
It's not too high up there, I think it's going to be the blueprint for stuff that comes out in the future. I think it's going to be weirdly influential.
Interesting. Oh man, I'm curious if we're gonna see that influence in the next few years.
I really hope so, man. I hope emo rap kind of takes on the new metal attitudes and like
swagger.
Tropes. The swagger.
Yeah, tons of swagger coming from Limp Bizkit. All right, man. I mean, 6.8. That is honestly, I think a very good score for this album.
You are a lot less enchanted by this one, so I'm curious to see what you think.
Yeah, I was a lot less enthused because, I mean, again, there's a reason why we listened to this. I knew what I was getting into. But there was a lot of stuff that just sounded just quintessential Limp Bizkit, for better or for worse. It sounded dated to me at times, but then also sounded refreshing not because they were doing anything new or, like you said, or groundbreaking, but because they were doing something that was unexpected from Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
So that I have to at least give them credit for. They definitely tried some new stuff on this. Borland is impressive, but dated.
Sure.
The drummer, John Otto, still is great. He did some interesting stuff on this record. Not all of it was traditional drums, which I'm sure he had still, something to do with the electric stuff. The bass is still great. Fred Durst still has a great delivery.
Yeah.
Mediocre lyrics, but huge energy. Big Durst energy for sure. And, there were some songs that I really fucking enjoyed. Even outside of the context of Limp Bizkit, there were some songs that I really enjoyed. And those are the ones that were different for them. So I hope they kind of continue down that path a little bit, where I feel like I almost want the opposite of what you want to happen. I want the influence to be more of the softer, different stuff that they did, rather than bringing back the old school rap metal sound. So... but again, there's legitimately probably like 3 songs that I'm going to listen to outside of this record, like on my own without having to listen to them.
That's better than I could have ever expected.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm impressed from that alone. So, I mean, but I'm going to have to give it, as a really old fan of Limp Bizkit, I was there from the beginning. I bought their first record in 1997 when I was in 5th grade or something. I was super into them until Chocolate Starfish, and after that I fell off from them, and I never really came back. But their older stuff I still love. So with that context, I'm going to give it a 5.
A 5. Wow. Right in the middle.
Yeah, because most of it sounded really dated to me, and then the stuff that was cool and new, I liked. And that was probably half the record. I thought was...
You're saying their style...
refreshing for them.
Your style's kind of fresh.
Not as fresh as Durst likes to fucking say in his lyrics or in interviews. But I think they knew what they were doing. And while none of the sounds were fresh, they were new for Limp Bizkit. And I have to give them props for that, because they pulled it off. All the new stuff for them, they pulled it off.
Well, all right. It's a 5 and a 6.8. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of The Shorties.
What did you guys think?
What did you guys think?
Are you guys fans of Limp Bizkit? Are you OGs like I am? And, did that affect your opinion of this record, or did it help it for you? Do you just have nostalgia? Like, what do you like or not like about this record? I'm super curious. Leave it in the comments, man.
Are you hoping any part of the Limp legacy continues? Are you like the Limpacy? Do you like the hard Limpacy? Do you like the soft Limpacy? Do you hope none of it goes through? Tell us.
Was this album limp enough for you, or could it have been limper?
Could have been a little more Biscuit.
Yeah. Were you missing the Biscuit part? Let us know.
We got EVP Cast on Instagram, YouTube, Podbean. We got John Luke Guitard on Instagram, Brett Hanrahan on Instagram, 100 T's in there.
That's right.
You're just going to have to figure out where they are.
Go to my Instagram to find where you can buy this Jackie Chan pink onesie hoodie.
I did really appreciate that, by the way.
This is like my favorite hoodie, man. I was just like, I got to represent my boy. Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I'm super happy we fucking listened to this, man.
Dude, I think
I wouldn't have on my own.
I'm very happy that I forced you to listen to this album.
I'm pretty happy. I'm 5 out of 10 happy that you made me listen to this.
Well, what would you rate the episode of this, bud?
I'm gonna rate this a fucking 9, man. It was so fun to listen to this album with you and see your reaction to it. That if the music didn't confuse me enough at times, your reaction to it confused me even more.
It's just an enigma of a vibe, I'd say.
It's, dude, you were hard vibing to this. I love to watch it, man, because I've been a Bizkit boy since day one, and it almost seems like tides have turned a little bit, and you're a little bigger of a Bizkit than I am now.
I mean, I was not born into the new metal phase. I was very much
you're discovering it
of it, right?
Yeah.
And so kind of discovering it in my later age, my elder years.
Yeah, you're already 20. What is it? 26 now? Ugh.
Yeah, 26. I got 1 foot in the grave.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here.
Then I'm excited for what's gonna happen next, man. I hope it has an impact. I would be surprised if it doesn't.
I think it's gonna have an impact on you. I think your punk band's about to become a rap metal band, from the sounds of it.
We might see.
I see it. I see it. Shit, man.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Until next time, Lucas?
Brett?
Was this was good?
This was good.
And 3, 2, 1.